Welcome to Ryan's Repair and Supply tutorial on working on the M9 and M11. We're specifically going to be working on the red LED. You see the red E001. That actually is a normal error, just so you know. That's just saying that the power has been turned off, it's been unplugged and plugged back in, or you lost power to the building. Normally not an error. It does come up with errors when it overheats. We'll get into that at a different time. But we're going to be working specifically on power issues when you have no power coming in on this unit. What we're going to do first is we're going to unplug the unit from the wall. We're going to make sure that's disconnected. On the back, some of these have a connector where you can unplug it in the back of the unit. We're going to be looking at that also. Make sure that that actually looks about like that. That's a good connector. Sometimes you'll see they're burned or kind of charred. Need to replace at least the cord, possibly the back connector. The next thing we're going to do, I've already removed these two screws on the right hand side of the machine. There's these two screws, pulled those out. Literally you just grab on the back of it and wiggle it. That comes off. Now if you're just looking at doing this for a quick fix, a couple of things you want to look at. We now again have the power disconnected. We don't have a power cord here, but make sure you have the power disconnected. We have two fuses. There's one here and there's one over here. These tend to be a big problem with these machines, especially if it gets moved or jarred or anything else. The fuses for those are these. I'll show you the picture of them here. It's a Bussmann 15 amp microwave oven fuse. It's an ABC 15. You see the number up there. These are available at Home Depot. So literally, I'm going to show you in a second how we get those out of there. But basically, that's what we're doing, is we're going to replace those two fuses first. And that's going to be our first test to see if that'll get it to work. I'm going to pause it now and grab some tools to replace those. Okay, so here I have an insulated pair of pliers. These actually are strippers, but any pair of pliers will work. Long nose are better. These are ceramic, so when you grab onto these, you want to be kind of careful not to squeeze too hard. But grab on here. Again, making sure power is off before you do this. Grab on there and just give it a nice, good pull. And pull that fuse out. We're going to do the same thing with the other one. Just grab on one side, not in the middle. Grab on one side, so it'll pull out one side first and then the other. Less chance of breaking. You set those down. Take your new fuses. These ones are good, so we're not going to do that with new ones. But you take your new fuses and just again slide them in, and you'll see them basically fit in. There is a spot where they go too high or too low, so you want to make sure you get them in the right spot. But they're not too bad for getting in there. That one is fully seated. You can see now when you look at it that it's completely in there and clamped in. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And again, it's fully seated, clamped in there. If you see any charring on these wires, or if your motherboard does not look clean, you see burn marks on the motherboard, don't even bother with this process. You probably have a fried motherboard and possibly bad heating elements or something else. But these are just to replace those two fuses. At another time, I will show you a little more detail on getting into other portions of this to fix. If this doesn't fix it, there's another issue, and you need to go a little bit deeper. We'll cover that in part 2, which will be available in a couple of weeks probably.